Okay, so the recording's going, and the recording is just going to be for those who weren't able to join us today. But while we are waiting for a few more people to come in, I'll just introduce Andrew really quick. Andrew and I have been working together for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Andrew's one of the big wigs at Dual Marketing Group, and he's super talented with design and videography, but also just marketing as well. And him and I have jived really well over the years in building websites, and not just building websites, but websites that convert and drive traffic and help businesses be even more successful. And so I kind of twisted his arm and pinned him down the ground and said, Andrew, you need to present at my meetup. And he said, whatever you say.
Yeah.
No, actually,
you gave me no other option. So
yeah, no other option. I says, do you want to present or do you want to present? And but he's super gracious to be here and share some tips that he's learned over the years, and definitely that we've learned together for sure. So yeah, Andrew, if you need help with any of your talking points, happy to jump in and provide some input. But yeah, so that's Andrew. And at the end or in the chat, Andrew, if you're okay with it, I can share how people can reach you.
Yeah, for sure.
If they have other questions. So let's see. I think we'll wait just a couple more minutes for people to show up before we let Andrew take control over here. But yeah, so my thought with this meetup, Intro to Digital Marketing, is truly everyone's building all these great looking websites. They're learning Divi. They're trying to get noticed, and it's tough. It's a tough thing to get noticed online these days. And if you're going to cut through all the noise, you need some marketing to go with it. There's a lot of free marketing tactics you can do. But there's also the paid side as well, which Andrew and his team specialize in really well. But until you're ready to make the leap for paid efforts, there's a lot of things you can do beforehand to really drive things home. So that's the goal of what we're going to try and talk to you today about, and I hope it's helpful for someone. So so yeah, I don't know. I say we just get started, and if there's questions afterwards, we'll have some extra time for that. And then Andrew, I know we talked about it, just after each major talking point you've got, let's just see if there's questions. That way people don't get left behind or things like that. So
awesome.
And if you are able to mute your mic, anyone who's not talking, that would be great. Cut out some of that noise. Perfect. So, all right, Andrew, I'm going to leave it to you, man.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, it's fun. So me and Dustin, as he said, we've worked a lot together over the past couple of years, and really have kind of built something that's really shown conversions for websites and people's businesses from different ranges of companies. And the cool thing about some of the things we'll talk about today is it is kind of a one size fits all. So no matter what industry you're in, these things will work. They will help your websites. They will help get traffic to your websites and those types of things. Just a little history about me. I've been in the digital marketing space for about 12 years now. I'm currently the CMO and the CCO here at Dual Marketing Group. And what we do is we work with companies to help just their overall engagement. And the way Duo started was a company, a design company and a social media company coming together, which is how we got our name. And we kind of reached out to Dustin in the early stages when we were wanting to build more websites. And they brought me on because my background is digital marketing, but also how people use social media and how they use websites and how they use it to be able to convert from it. And so some of the things I'll talk about today, excuse me, are I have a couple different topics, and we'll go over each one. But just a list of them is engaging content strategy, the call to actions and why you need them, social media, Google My Business profiles, and SEO. So those are the topics we'll go over today. And again, a lot of these are one size fits all, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'll leave it open for questions for a lot of this. Just trying to give you surface level and the best information I can. So the first one we'll talk about, and Dustin, I don't know, am I able to share my screen here at all?
Yeah, you bet. In the tools across the bottom, you'll see like a square with an up arrow.
Oh, present now. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yep.
You should see hundreds of tabs across the top there.
That's the right browser. Yeah.
That's just life. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about, and this is just pulling up one of our clients. They came to us with a really big need for a new website. They needed better traffic. They needed to convert at a better and a higher rate. And when they came to us, their website was not ranking anywhere. They worked with an agency before us that was charging them, $50,000 to $60,000 a month. And they weren't seeing any results. And for us, and the way we think about it is we want to provide answers and simplicity, because simplicity always solves the problem the best way. And so when they came to us, we built this new website. And this is, I think, one of our pride and joys, Dustin, as we've worked through the years on something that's taking a company from no traffic, no leads, no phone calls, no brand online, to somebody that really connects with people instantly and allows them to browse freely throughout the website, and taking them through a story of the website instead of just information, buttons, and pictures. And so engaging content strategy, we'll start with that. So the first thing that we want to do, and this is something that I think is bread and butter for us, Dustin, is this very top portion. A lot of people don't understand how important that real estate is on your website. For us, it's not playing right now, but this is a video. So a video is playing in the background. And it's a fine line that you have to play and kind of balance on with content on your website, because you want to have great content, but you don't want to slow your website down. And so you have to find that balance there. And usually I like to keep videos underneath 5 seconds and compress them as much as I can for these, and just put them, they're almost on a loop. But having that, you guys have seen, looking through other people's sites and those types of things, subconsciously, we notice movement. Our eyes pay more attention when it's there. And so maybe you, as you're looking through it, you're kind of just scrolling by and you're not noticing it in real time, but your mind and in the back end, in the subconscious, it's paying more attention, which means it's taking in more information. And so we always want to have a big power statement. And for this, they're really trying to hit SEO, and they're trying to get Salt Lake City, Utah. They're trying to build out their SEO for Utah. And so we always want to have these little keywords and those types of things. And we'll talk about that in the SEO portion. But for the engaged design, we have this picture here. We have our highlight of what we want to tell people instantly what the business does. So they don't have to guess. They don't have to look into it more. They don't have to maybe read a huge paragraph. So always have a power statement right there. And then always have either an image or a video. And that's just so important. It's such a simple thing to add to your site, but it gives so much to keeping people's attention, which is the whole part about running a business, having a website. Attention is our currency in today's world. And so we're really trying to get that as much as we possibly can. Then after that, and this is something that me and Dustin have really implemented for every client we work with. Third-party validation is a big part of an engaging content strategy. We're willing to trust other people who are talking about somebody else instead of that person talking about themselves. Because a company is always going to say, I'm great, I'm fantastic, you should work with me. But people who don't have a tie and maybe have used that service or have bought that product, they're going to tell the truth because they don't have any financial ties to that business. And so using third-party validation builds credibility for you way more than anything else. So we always make sure to put third-party validation. Normally we'll put it sometimes underneath these buttons. We'll have a 5-star rating or a review pop up. But it's always good to have it too in this second thing, because we've captured their attention and now we're capturing their trust with third-party validation. And you'll see a trend here. We always like to do kind of this blocking style. And what this is we're giving content for the eyes, we're giving content for the mind to read, and then we're providing more content for the eyes. So we're breaking up the website into sections instead of it just being one giant website. And we're using a lot of different strategies here, where we're having them read from this side to this side. We're making it where it's all the way across. We're making everything center. So we're always moving their eyes across the screen. And that's a big importance, because, you know, people, it's true, sometimes we're lazy and we don't want to do extra steps. And this kind of goes for everybody, especially on websites, because it's just the normal now. And so breaking up their eye, breaking up where they're looking, making their mind work a little bit harder goes a long way with that. So then we have this, and we give them the option to watch a video. Sometimes we put videos here. Sometimes it's just an image. I love parallax images. And I always tell Dustin, hey, can we throw a parallax image into this? All the time. And I love it because it adds motion. It adds a different look, a different feel. Yeah, we're not seeing her entire face, but the eyes are what's important. We want people to connect with eyes. So whenever you're doing pictures, as you can see, or videos, try to get people looking into the camera or having a conversation or looking at each other. Try to use pictures where the highlight is there's a sparkle in someone's eye. Really give that human touch to the digital aspect. And that's kind of been lost over the past couple of years. Everyone's gotten so much into data and understanding, you know, how many clicks do I have? How many followers? How much traffic's coming to my website? And they lose the whole meaning behind what a website is, which is to make somebody feel like a part of something and to add a human touch to it digitally. And so that's a big part. Really think of faces, think of experiences, and always try to make it candid. Never try to make it where they're looking directly into camera. You know, as we see here, these two, they're not looking into camera. She's kind of glancing over to her. This person here is looking off to this corner, but really we're using her eyes to have them watch this. As you can see, her eyes are kind of looking at this button. And so we're giving direction to the content and the engaging strategy there. Then we kind of break it down. So this is now where we're getting more into the information. And we break it down by these really cool icons, adding a design element to it. And it's not just the normal icons. So these are all custom made. Sometimes normal icons work because it's for an older audience, or you're just wanting to match what other people are doing. But for this, we wanted to stand out. And so custom making these was a big part of that. And then here's the human side. So this is a healing gallery, as we called it. Most people would just call it a gallery. Most people won't call it anything. But we wanted to add a human touch to it. And these are people who have taken their program and have healed, and the services they provide and the activities that they do. It gives a human inside look. But again, you can see we do a picture or a video, we provide content here, and then we break up pictures and video again. So doing that is very important, kind of having a balance between when to put in content, because you want them to focus on that content, and when to re-engage their mind there. And then think different about recovery. We're using a lot of icons, we're using a lot of data, we're using a lot of validation that this is, you know, they have 19 different areas of the brain that they're focusing on. They have groundbreaking studies, you know, receive mental health treatment, they provide that. And then again, we break it up with pictures and more information. And so you can kind of start to see the trend of pictures, information, having it, instead of it being another full screen like these are up here, where it goes all the way across, we're now breaking up to go from right to left in the pictures and the information from left to right. So we're always playing with them to try to move down. And Dustin can kind of talk about this too, and he probably has, and you guys know a lot about this, is the more scrolls someone does, the less they're likely to look at the page. And so we're really trying to figure out the entire website to capture attention, provide something different, inspire them, add that human element. And this is a great example of an engaging content strategy for your website. And we can go over that for social media, but this gives an idea to that as well. Real quick, I'll show you another one, then I'll open it up for questions about this topic. This is one of our favorite. This took us some time to try to figure out, how to get this just right, especially on mobile. And think about your websites too from a mobile perspective. If it doesn't look good on mobile, it doesn't look good anywhere. It doesn't matter if it looks great on desktop, because high percentage of websites and industries, it's all coming from your mobile device. And so it took us some time, Dustin, as you know, to get these perfect and to get them working the way we want. But this client came to us and they had a normal website. It looked great, but it didn't function great. And it's because when we looked at the data, we saw no one's going past the first 2 pages to get to information. And so they had all of these buttons down below, how to contact us, the online patient form, procedures we offer. So we decided to make these all a clickable button that they can click, overlaying the video. And you can see in the back, the video is smiling faces, eyeballs, human aspect. You can start to tie in those things. Then we get to the details of like what they do. But again, it just plays on a loop. And instantly that you see her smiling and talking to this person in a candid way, you feel less like it's at a business and more like you're having a conversation with somebody. And so this is another great example of engaging content for your website and understanding where people are looking and how to add a human element to it there. All right, I'll open it up for any questions you have about engaging content strategy on your website.
Yeah, I have a question. When you're laying out the website, like I noticed this one it was just like a long page continuous. Is it better to go that route or to have multiple pages, like a menu bar, like the traditional way we have like a menu bar and you click on that to go to different pages? Because I've seen a lot of websites now where like this one you just showed, so it's just like a long continuous page. You don't go to all these other pages. It's just one, maybe it's better that way, easier. Or I'm not sure if it seems to be the trend, and I'm not sure that's the right way to go. Or.
Yeah, that's a great question. So all of these websites, as I'll pull up again and just kind of show you here. So the websites, the strategy that we found is having multiple places for somebody to click instantly, whether it's multiple pages that way. We still have those on the back end. And so the endless scroll, which is what we call this, allows people to freely browse through information. And what we found is when people are on your homepage, normally about 85% of the time, they're looking just to get a contact information or to learn more about your program. And so all of this information they come back to that we've noticed when they go to these other topics. So we have all these other pages that they can go to that they freely can browse through. We have their treatment stages, they have the team, we have all these testimonials, blog post content, etc. So we give them all of that information. But what we've seen is when they come to the website, they're looking to browse. They're not really looking to learn at that moment. And so people browse online by scrolling. And so if you take that scroll away, it moves them into a process that they're not ready for yet. Because some people have just one page, there's no scroll. You try to scroll, it just shows their footer there at the bottom. And it doesn't give any access to like that process that they're wanting to go through. And so once we had 2 different options for this website. One was a very small homepage that just had basically this, and then it provided their services. And then we tested it against this other page in our design testing there. And what we found is more people were engaging with these other pages that we had when we had an endless scroll, because they were browsing, they were connecting with the person, they were connecting with the human aspect, they were reading the big titles, they were making an experience for themselves. And we want to allow them to freely browse how they want and not how we want them to. And so a lot of it is working with what they want to do instead of maybe what we think they want to do. And seeing that and how they scrolled here, they would then search for their blog posts, which is a topic that they would always search. And then they'd go into their testimonials, then they'd look at their team, and then they'd go into these other topics there. So it is very important to kind of have that experience for them, but to also have these other separate pages as well to make sure that they can get the information how they want on their time. We're just there to help them get it.
Okay.
And if I might add on to that as well, something that Andrew and I struggle with on some of our other sites is the lack of content or too much content.
Yeah.
And we try to strike that balance of presenting just enough throughout the website so it's not overwhelming, but gives them enough to keep looking, especially off the homepage. We want to kind of give them a great overview because they're in the exploratory phase. And then we want to drive them to all the pages that have all the detail and all the information, the best that we can. And the sites that have very little content, and we're currently working on one that has very little content.
Yeah.
We try to kind of fluff things up too, so that the site feels legit. And I think if you have a site that has little content, it's really hard to take it seriously, I feel like. And so it's just that balance, I think. But to Andrew's point, engaging content, breaking things up visually with images and text, I think will definitely kind of drive it in how you structure any website based on the content you have and what you're trying to convey throughout the process. So small snippets of text, I think, will convey more than a page-long website full of text. So,
yep.
Someone did raise their hand. Ardell has a question.
Mine is more along the same lines as what I can't find him. Was it Scott that said? No, it was Fred that said that was asking about the scrolling thing. Okay, so if you if you're scrolling through this, and okay, so I'm a client that wants to find out about this place. So I'm scrolling through this long thing. At any time, can I get to the things that are in the menu at the top through the scroll if it piques my interest, or do I have to go back up to the top to look at that menu, or does the menu follow with you as you're scrolling? I'm just thinking about like, for instance, in the scroll, the testimonial section, does that take you to the same place as the menu at the top?
Yeah, great question. So we do have, it's always good to have things follow. And so the nav bar at the top is going to follow them throughout their scroll, so they can go to any of those other portions of the website whenever they want. But if they click testimonial, let's say they click testimonial in the nav bar, that's then going to take them to the testimonial page. So it's not going to scroll them up and down the page wherever the testimonials are. So it is going to take them to their own page, and that's where we're wanting them to go deeper. So once they select something, we do want to take them somewhere different because it resets the brain on paying more attention. And so the scroll up and down, we have the nav bar there. And I think, yeah, I'll show you this at the bottom because this is another great example. Sorry, I keep bouncing back and forth from these sites here. But something that Dustin and I really found when it came to websites, can you guys see that again?
Yeah.
The Avalon Hills website? Perfect. So as you can see, the nav bar is clear right now, so it's transparent. So we don't have anything that's drawing attention to it, but as we scroll, it highlights in green.
Ah, it stays with you. Okay.
Yep. And so we scroll up and down that way. But
Okay.
something else you can't really see underneath, we have this I don't know what we call it. We call this a pop-up. And it's a pop-up that's not going to appear right in the middle of the screen because those just don't do well.
No.
We have this pop-up down here. Let's see if I can hide this. Perfect. So updating the families about coronavirus and how they're taking care of it and how their facility's handling it. And as you can see, we have the nav bar follow us there, and we have this pop-up follow us here. And so we're always providing information that we want. This used to be how to get in contact with administration. And that would follow them throughout every page, no matter where they are on the website. The nav bar and the pop-up are following them throughout the entire site.
Okay. So as an author, what would you have on the bottom on pop-up? What would you have there?
So how are people, is it books? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I'm a mystery writer.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I would have, this pop-up could link to how they can purchase your book, or how to see more of your stories, or maybe it's a history about yourself. And so for me, looking at that, if you're having books that you're trying to sell or you're wanting people to see, that's a great place to put maybe a discount, or how they can get in contact with you to buy your book, or direct links to buy your book. Leave those things there.
At the top menu, I also have a books page.
Yeah.
And then it's got all of the buy links in there. So this would be an additional thing.
Yeah. So this would be additional. So this would be, we always like to keep this different, or to draw the most attention to. So it doesn't have to be different every time, but it's always good to provide different if you can. But let's say, for this company, getting people to talk to administrations, we have that in the contact form. So if they click contact, that's who they're contacting. But we also wanted to follow them throughout in a different space. And so it would say to register your child, or to get in contact with administration, click here. And so providing the same information, but making it sound different. So instead of saying contact us to talk to administration, it would say something along the lines of register your child, learn more. Or to contact administration, click this. And then the other one is just contact us.
Thank you.
What about, like, I looked at some websites and they have like a pop-up that will show up with like a call to action. Call, we're offering a 50% discount for the next 3 days. Call us now. Or I mean, I tried to put that out there on ours, and it didn't. No bites. Nobody. I guess it's not effective. I don't know. I guess.
Yeah. Did that pop-up come to the middle of the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the middle of the screen is like when they come up, and then you click the little X to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are probably some of the lowest click-through rates of anything that we've seen, because people aren't there to see a pop-up. We want them to see that when they're ready for it. And so that's why we put it at the bottom, because they can still scroll, they can still see the information they want. But as they start browsing, if you have that pop-up show up at the bottom there that said, 15% off discount, click here. And they're going to click on that when they're ready. And when we throw a pop-up right in the middle of it, they're not ready to see that information. And it kind of frustrates. I know with me, I mean, I'm in the pop-up business. That's kind of what my whole thing is advertising, getting people's attention, doing that. And myself, if I see a pop-up, I'm clicking off it as fast as possible. And now it's kind of broken up the whole reason I came to the site, which was learn more. So I'm less likely to stay, or less likely to pay attention, because my process that I wanted to go through, my personal experience, has been broken up by something I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, get rid of it. Move it.
Yeah, so I'd move it down definitely to that bottom section, because then it's still there, because it's a great offer. And we want people to take that offer, but we don't want to ruin their experience while doing it.
Yeah. All right. Note on that.
I think there's does someone else have raised their hand?
Ardell, do you have another question?
Yeah, I do. Since we're in Divi, where is this pop-up ability in Divi?
Sure. So that's a great question. I'm going to let Cami or Joan or someone else post plugins that they like for pop-ups, because you'll need that functionality, and then you can hook it all in with, trigger a bit with like a button click, which is what we're doing.
I can copy that from chat then.
Yeah.
We'll post. There's a million plugins out there. They're very easy to use. Most are free. Some are more, depending on what you want, but just something simple. There's a lot out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cami.
Yeah. So look in the chat for that.
I will.
Awesome. All right, Andrew, let's move on to the next topic.
So the next topic was call to actions, and we kind of led right into that with these pop-ups, because that's exactly what they are. We need to tell people what to do. So even though it's a personal experience, we need to strategically tell them what to do and be very cautious of when we do this. And so going back to these examples, the call to actions have to be on the first screen right away. And so the call to action here is a contact us or a learn more about our program. And so these are very, very important. And you always, on your very first page, you want to highlight your buttons as much as you possibly can, because the whole reason is to try to get them to engage with you. And you can see here we have another call to action, which is to learn more about the coronavirus updates. And then if you look down, and this is something that maybe I go a little overboard with, but I understand the human aspect of, I want to contact you when I'm ready. And I may be ready on a different page that you don't have a contact button on, which makes it more difficult. So for me, I'm always wanting to put a call to action for almost every section. And you'll see that here. So a call to action, contact us, learn more. Then at the very top, we have our contact us for general questions and careers. So that's there as well. And that's going to follow them throughout. And this is where most people go to, and they mostly go here. But then as they scroll down, I have another call to action where it's click here to learn more about their mission, or to watch now, read more, or watch now. So again, these are call to actions to help them engage with the website. Maybe they're not going to contact me, but this is getting them deeper involved into the company. And then again, we have another call to action, watch now. So this is another video that tells their whole story about the company, and it's beautifully shot. And that's a big thing. You can make great quality content with your cell phone. And I'll show you an example of what we did for a client. And basically they didn't have a budget, and we've worked with them for years. They didn't have a video budget, sorry. We worked for them for years. They were marketing clients of ours, and they're still with us. And they're just like, hey, we have no budget for video, but we know it's important. And so for us, we said, okay, well, let's take our big cameras and our big setup, and let's just shoot an iPhone video. And let's just give them something that's quality. And so I'll show you that here in a little bit. It's just on YouTube. But and then these. So once we hover over, there's a call to action. All of these have call to actions. But as you can see, it doesn't feel overwhelming. You don't want to overwhelm people with call to actions. You want to hide them. You want to change the wording. So this is learn more. Up here, we have a watch now. We have a read more. We have a click here. We have a contact us and a learn more about our program. All of these things could say the same thing. They could all say, click here to learn more. Click here, click here, click here, click here. But we want to break it up. We want to break up what people are seeing and what they're looking at. And so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 different call to action phrases within the first 2 sections. But it doesn't feel like you have that many call to actions because they're all broken up. They're all different. They don't seem the same. And so that's a big thing to have, call to actions throughout your website. We break up no call to action here because we've kind of done everything we want to call them to do, which is learn more about our services, contact us, or watch a video. And then we just give them information. We provide a read more, so another call to action there, a call to action there, a call to action there, and then we have call to actions at the very bottom as well. So this whole top page also call to action in the contact information. So this entire section has call to actions to get them more involved, because the more times people click into a website to learn something more, they'll stay with you. But if they have to click and to find multiple things in different places, well, they click here, and then I have to click another button, then I have to click here, and now I'm at the information I wanted, that's bad. But if we can get them to click to learn something more, and as they learn something more, that then takes them to another part of the story, and then that takes them down to another part of the story. Kind of do your website as you're telling a story. Once upon a time, contact information. There was this person learning more about this. And so really think of it as a story you're telling people instead of just giving them as much information as possible. So that's a big call to action. And this goes for social media, which will lead into that is the next step. So we'll talk about call to actions for social media. But these call to actions give direction to people, give them reason to look further, and capture their attention that way. And we really based all of these call to actions on the big 3 that this company wanted to focus on. They needed more people contacting them. So the contact us is the #1 reason we're putting these all over the website. Is that people don't really know what we do. And once they figure it out, they normally contact us, which is why we have a learn more about their program. And then the third thing was, no one really trusts the industry because it's a very sensitive topic for people, that they're going through a really hard time in their lives, and these people want to help, but some people feel embarrassed and they don't want people to know that, but they do want to connect with people. And so then we gave them these watch, read, and watch now, talking about a healthcare professional, a family member that had a patient, and then a patient themselves. And so we've solved all three of their big problems of getting more people to contact them to learn more. And then if they click on learn more about the program, it takes them into the website here, talks about their treatment, and then we have these call to actions at the top. And this followed us to the next page. The contact us is on the next page, and then the contact us down here below. So that's kind of a quick overview about call to actions and changing up the wording, changing up the phrasing, giving them something to look at that is saying the same thing without saying the same thing. Any questions about call to actions? Like
Ardell does.
Yep, Ardell.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I put a question in the chat there. Does the button open into a new tab, and can they get back easily to the main page?
Yeah, so this is something that me and Dustin play with a lot. So sometimes we don't want people to go off the page. We want to keep them there. It's very Gmail-esque. When you open up an email, you can still kind of get back to where you are, but it kind of fades out the back and shows like a little pop-up. So that's the only time that we've used pop-ups in the past. And this really depends on what you're wanting them to do. So if I don't want them to leave the home page, let's go there. I think the videos do that in this section. Let's pull it up here. I think these are the ones. No, not these ones.
Ardell, while he's pulling this up, when we have people click on links or buttons or any of that, we usually will never open the website into a new tab. We want them to stay in the same tab in the browser as they're navigating. The only time we'll kick someone into a new tab is if they're leaving to a whole different website. Mm-hmm. That's the only time we'll do a different tab. Otherwise, we try to keep them in here on the website.
I see.
Exactly. So if they're clicking into a button, they're definitely staying into the website. So they're either going to another page on the website, going to the contact form. But when it comes to creative, when it comes to the videos and the pictures, when we want them to see it, but I don't want them to leave. So if they watch this video, I don't want to take them to another page because they're still so fresh in their process of going through our website. But watching the video makes a human connection. There's an emotional connection and a tie there because it's going through the story about how the founder of this company, she had a same thing, going through the same thing that a lot of these girls do. And she was able to recover and get better and become, successful. So when they click watch now, you see everything fades away, and then the video it normally doesn't take this long, and it was up just a while ago, but I think it's the screen recording. But there's a video that pops up right here, and as you can see, everything's faded out, and they can easily just click off of this and get right back into where they were scrolling. So it really comes down to being really picky and understanding, okay, they're at the very top of the website. Now's not the time to take them somewhere else. And so when we do that, we always use these pop-ups to provide that information and to give them that story. So then the video pops up here, they're able to click it, watch it, and then they can be done, and then they can continue on now into the services. So they've made that connection with the video. Now there's a reason, there's an emotional tie to it. And once you can capture an emotion from somebody, they're more likely to continue. They're also more likely to convert because they have an emotion with you versus your competitor, which has no emotion.
So when they click on one of these services, they go in and they read that, and then they want to see go back to this menu and click on a different icon. Is that an easy process?
Yeah, so I just clicked on it here, and most people always know that you click the logo in the top left, it's going to take you right back to where you were on the website.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Yep. And so, or if they click learn more, let's say they do that. Some people use the back button and that will take you right back to where you were.
Okay. All
Yep.
right.
So everything's tied into each other to quickly and simply get someone back to where they were, because we wanted them to continue that process.
Okay.
Perfect. I say we move on to the next topic.
Okay. So this one's one of my favorites, social media. It's very, very different, personal social media versus business social media. So a lot of people say, oh, I do social media for myself, I can do it for my business. And you can't post the same way you do for yourself as a business, because Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of these social media platforms have gone through a huge change over the past couple of years. And it really started to where Facebook, for example, is just the easiest one because it's great for business. But Facebook would allow businesses to post as frequently as they wanted, just like they would just a normal person, me on my personal page. And I could post 6-7 times a day, and they encouraged that. And then a couple years ago, Facebook decided, hey, we're not providing a great experience for our users anymore, because these businesses are just spamming their pages with multiple posts per day, posts that maybe they're just repeating from other platforms. And so what they have done is really have said, okay, businesses, you can still post on social media. It's more of a pay-to-play platform, but there's some organic reach if you follow our rules. And we always say Facebook and Instagram are bigger than everybody, bigger than almost every business. And so we have to play by their rules if we want our business to be successful. But social media is a great platform. And let me just pull this up and I'll walk you through a great strategy when it comes to social media and how to use it for your business. All right, can you guys see my screen there? Is it just
Not
me?
yet.
All right, let's see here. Okay. So we'll go into here into ours. Being silly. So social media for businesses, and this is to drive traffic to your website. That's what I'm going to focus on. There's so many other benefits that it provides, but getting people to your website is a big importance. And so when you see on all these websites here, we always link their socials, always. 100% of the time, put your social media into this, because that's part of SEO as well. Google's going to see your social status, and they're going to see if you're involved on multiple platforms. Because if you are, that maybe means that you're more engaged and you provide more value to the end consumer than somebody who doesn't. And this is a very brand new thing. So SEO and social media have always been like, oh, it doesn't affect it. Yes, it does. There's always been this back and forth with SEO. And what we've found is, one, it's just a good link. You're connecting multiple sites or multiple other sites to your website. But we're starting to see more and more that people who have great engagement and people who provide value on other social media platforms, Google's now seeing that, and they see it with reviews as well. But they're now starting to tie all those together. And sometimes people's Facebook pages appear above their website, because a lot of people do research, just like what your website is for. They do it on social media. And so we ran a huge campaign, and we tested a lot. And that's a big thing, is testing things to see how it works. One, maybe change something on your website and give it 3 months to see, okay, is there a higher bounce rate or is there a lower bounce rate on this page? Am I getting more people contacting me or more people clicking the buttons? Always test it. And so we tested this out to see, who's going to social media first, or who's going after they visit the website. And it was pretty even across the board. Some people go to social media first to look at. This is usually a younger audience. We talked to some 20-year-olds, which is funny. We talked to some 20-year-olds, and they say, I go to Instagram to research things before I even go to their website. They say, I normally get to their website from their Instagram page. And so having your social media connected to your website is very important. So as we click there, it will take them to their site, but I'll just walk you through ours just to kind of show you a breakdown of what we've done here. So again, have engaging content that's different, but we want them, one, to know our full name, to know exactly what we do. They click on our services, on our reviews. They click into here and can see people, have given us those types of things. But we also have these buttons that you can play with. So you can promote, you can learn more, you can send. Once we scroll down here a little bit more, we can start to see information that we're trying to get them to contact us. We see our website, we're seeing our followers, we're letting people know what we are, how to connect with us on different platforms. And then a contact us. But we're trying to drive traffic to our site. And Instagram is a great tool for that, because that's something that you can sponsor something for just a couple bucks and get people to go to your website. And so Instagram is a big tool for that. But Facebook is where people who make buying decisions, they're on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to get more views and those types of things, they're on TikTok and the younger platforms. We try to stay away from Twitter unless you're a politician, as professional athlete, or a celebrity, because that's where they go, and it's kind of a platform that is really hard to get attention and to get people to engage with unless you're one of those big three. But driving traffic to your website is a big importance. And so making sure this is set up properly and making sure it's connected to your website. Again, going to this one here, if we go down to the bottom, we have that leave the review, which is a big part of it. We have follow us on Instagram. We have their social medias right here. And it just ties everything together. So having a social media builds a community, and that's another human aspect that people forget. Social media is a social platform. People want to engage. They want to feel a part of something. It's human nature for us to be, even if you're I love being by myself. I'm a weird person like that. COVID was kind of a funny thing for me, because I love just sitting at home and not having to pretend to want to go out and talk to people or be a part of a group or anything like that. But for me, I still want to be part of a group. I still want to have friends. I still want to feel like I'm part of a family. And it's very important for people. And once they have that connection, that's when they start researching. So think of social media as a research tool for your viewers and people coming to your website, because they're most likely on those platforms as well. And it gives you credibility for them to see you there and to be a part of a community, to where on Instagram, you put it right there at the top, right underneath your bio, you can link your website. And if people are going to Instagram and finding you first there, it just gives another avenue for them to find you at your website, which again is the main driver of your business, because that's where the information is. That's where the contact information is. That's how they get in contact with you and learn more. And so all of these social media platforms just allow them to point directly to your website more and more and more, which gives your website more traffic. And the more traffic you have, the more people see your stuff. The more people see your stuff, the better conversions you have if it's built correctly.
Cammy's got a question for you.
Yeah. I know that there was a saying at some point I heard somewhere. Twitter, it's important you post daily, or as 5 times a day daily. Facebook maybe once a day, once a week, and Instagram, I don't know, that wasn't around when I heard this. So is there a frequency that you shouldn't have? I mean, I know, don't post just to post. Quality is better than quantity, I know. Don't just do stupid stuff to have things up there. So is there a frequency that's better than most for posting? And I know each platform is different.
Yeah, this has changed too. So Facebook used to be every day. You wanted to post several times a day. Then it went to you want to post maybe 1 time a day for Facebook. Facebook now that we've seen is if you post 3 times a week, that is where you get the highest engagement. And so we've tested this where we've posted 2 to 3 times per day for the entire week over several months versus just posting 3 times a week for several months. And the engagement was so much higher for that. And that's because Facebook is saying, you're not spamming, you're providing value, and we're going to let more people see your post. So Facebook is 3 times a week. Instagram for businesses is 1 time a day for just the post. They want to have at least 3 Instagram stories. That's where they have it just in there. That could be you talking about your book. That can be you talking about a service. That can be talking about websites and why they work. And then they also have Instagram TV now. They want 1 post per week there. So Instagram is very different. But for just keeping it where you should be, because there's a lot you can go with Instagram, 1 post per day and three Instagram stories is where I would start for that.
One post, one post a day.
Yep, 1 post a day on your feed.
Okay.
And then in Instagram stories, that's when someone clicks your logo or your icon. 3 Instagram stories per day as well.
Okay.
And then Twitter is as many posts as you want.
Twitter is no, don't go there.
Yeah, Twitter. Again, every client that comes to Duo, we steer them away from Twitter because it's such a hard platform. There are people who can be successful at it, but it's such a hard platform and it's such a negative platform that it's almost not worth your time.
And I know it probably depends on the company's brand.
Yeah.
What about TikTok? I know not everybody needs to do that, and it's definitely a certain demographic, but is there a TikTok posting too?
Yeah, so for us, it's an interesting topic because we want people who can purchase, and we want people who are going to be the ones making decisions. And TikTok, I think it's going to get there. It's going to be that platform for that, but it's such a young audience. The ages in TikTok is 13 to 17. That's the main user. So those are the people whose parents are buying a lot of their stuff or making their decisions for them. If the product is cheap, and as in cost, not in quality, it's a great platform to be on. But if you're looking to go to TikTok, I would first use Instagram Reels first. And that's where we focus personally for our brand. That's where we focus for our clients' brands, because it's still that audience. Instagram is built for 25 and above, and Facebook is built for 30 and above. And so those are the people who are able to purchase, are making their own decisions. They don't have to ask mom and dad for permission. And so Instagram Reels, and that is whenever you can, a couple times a week, 1 time every other week. Instagram Reels is so new, but I would take advantage of it because it has some of the highest organic traffic you can get. And so you don't have to pay money for people to see it. Mm-hmm. So for example, we posted a video on our Instagram about one of our staff members pulling a little joke on me to try to go home early. And they kind of did this funny little, I picked A or B, but they had it so where it could slide up and down and change the answer for what I picked. And so it was great. And that type of content's what people want to see. They don't want to, here, let me tell you about how you can buy my product. It's, let me show you how my product works in a funny way, or let me show you how personal I am and what my personality is.
Yeah, you need to be clever and different.
And that had no money behind it, and it reached 12,000 people. It had 300, almost 400 people liked it. It had 25 shares. It had 150 saves. And that's the content you want, because people are sharing that with people now. And so, it doesn't bring us anything but brand awareness, and we're okay with that. But if you're looking for people to buy, you need to have that, and then give them a reason to go to your website, which we saw a bump and increase in that. What
about LinkedIn? I mean, that's specific to business. So
yeah, LinkedIn's great. LinkedIn is a great platform. Their organic is really great. It's not used as much, and so that's a great platform to be on. LinkedIn, you can post 3 times a day and be okay with it.
And would the subject matter be different than Facebook?
Very, very different. So Facebook, you think, is educational. Facebook is, you want to post things about either highlighting your product, telling about services, putting testimonial reviews. It's an educational platform because people are more likely to read the captions on Facebook. Instagram is very visual. So this is where you want to really build out, and let me kind of just give you a breakdown here. For Instagram. Instagram is very, let me share this here. So again, Instagram is visual, and you need to have a theme with your Instagram to make people see this. So people don't see this as much as people think. And you guys can see that, right? Our Instagram page here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And so we have a very branded kind of whole style Instagram, but as you can see, it's very visual. It's very interactive. It's getting people with these videos, and this is all done on my cell phone. I mean, all of these things completed on a cell phone. You know, obviously I have a background with video, so we're able to do things like this where it looks like my hand comes in and likes the video. Here's the reel I was talking to you guys about. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the quality or like the audio with it, but
Here you've got two options. Do you choose A or B?
B.
You got your answer locked in?
Yeah, B for sure.
All right, you chose B.
Cool.
It's like I'm headed out.
So fun little things like that do well where it's more visual. But on Facebook, again, you can see we posted that here. You can see we posted it here, but most of the stuff, we're trying to get them to read the information on the post. Or we're posting more behind the scenes that aren't as edited as Instagram would be. You know, we had one of our employees' dogs stop by our HQ for a quick visit, and you know, she only likes standing desks for some reason. You know, we show our projects behind the scenes of what this is. And again, on Instagram, we wouldn't really show this as much. You know, here's part of our team. We had a team photo shoot, and you know, we had some that could make it, some that couldn't make it. So we're telling everyone we missed great pictures, great seeing the whole team for our secret project. So you can see it's a little bit different to where it's not as edited. It's more about the company. It's more about our projects. It's more about the 4th of July. You know, trying to get people to read the information. And so LinkedIn is very just business. I mean, post about business things, your goals, what your strategies are, those types of things there. LinkedIn's great for that.
On LinkedIn, would you also, you know, like post about the blogs that you put up, especially if they're, you know, specific, like Divi Lover, she always posts blogs about Divi. So, you know, is that something you would post about?
Yeah, and I would do that on Facebook too.
Right.
So, yep, I'd keep that. I wouldn't make every post a blog. Some people.
No. I'm just saying that would also be included in that, so it's not just all dry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
These are our hours, and this is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So blogs great for LinkedIn and Facebook.
Shai has a question too. And she left the meeting after that. So
I've got a question too.
Okay, Ardell, go ahead.
Okay, I found LinkedIn was absolutely no use to me as an author. And I found that Twitter got me a lot of author links, and through them I got more followers from their followers.
Yeah.
So I found Twitter better than LinkedIn by a long shot.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Facebook, I have a lot more people on my personal profile than I do have on my author page.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that whenever the interesting stuff that comes to me in notifications, I send it to my author page, but then it registers me in the analytics as a reader.
Mm-hmm.
And so that doesn't work. So I have to find a way to get my my Facebook profile people into my author page.
Mm-hmm.
And so and also I wanted to ask you, all of this stuff that you're posting on your Facebook or on your business page on Facebook, how much are you paying for each of one of those ads? Because when I started, it was $25 to reach very few people, and then they chose the people that it was going to reach, and I found it was not cost effective at all.
Yeah, so that's a great question, and this is where it comes down to people who are doing Facebook every single day and people who are trying to run another side business. Some great advice I can give you right now. Nothing we've posted, we've used any money behind. It's all been organic. And the reason that is because we've been posting. Facebook's a learning platform. So if you haven't followed their rules once, they're going to take offense to that, and they're going to say, okay, for the next 4 months, we're not going to let as many people see your posts, even if you pay for it. But when you do pay for it, so you're saying you use $25 per post, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
every time they ask me to boost a post,
yeah,
it cost me $25, and then I don't know who it's going out to, but it's certainly not returning me anything.
Yeah, so that's what I would look into that a little bit more, because you don't need to spend $25 every time you boost a post. So when you boost it, you can select your range of how much you want to pay, and you can also build an audience of who you want to target. And so if we went in and wanted to boost something, let me see if I can just pull it up on my Instagram and show you real quick. Okay, can see if you guys can see this here. So we just had this video. Again, if we wanted to promote it, we just click promote. It's going to take us into where we want people to go. So it's more profile visits, more website visits, more messages. So let's just say we want people to go to more profile visits. Then we click next. So now we have an automatic. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Can you guys? Yeah. Okay. So we have an automatic, and that's just Instagram picking the audience for us. And so they say Instagram targets people like your followers. So they'll look at our followers and target them there. Then we have different cities. So this is like New York, Los Angeles. Then we have people who like Apple products. Then we also have people with our target market, which is New York, Oregon, California. And then they're interested in Apple, graphic design, digital. So we've built all of these. And so you're able to go in, and let's say you wanted to create your own audience here at the bottom. So you create your own audience, you title it, you look at locations and interests. So for you, being an author, you talk about trending authors. Maybe it's different book titles, people who like this book. Locations, who do you talk with the most? So this could be people in California, maybe it's people over in England. You can create all of those, whatever you want, and then that way you can target those people specifically. And so Facebook is the same thing, because Facebook owns Instagram, and it's the same thing. So if I wanted to boost a post, I could build out my own audience to do that, and then I can say how much I want to pay per day in that. So if you do $5, and this is be very careful, because Facebook and Instagram want to get as much money as you can, as they can. And so they'll kind of trick you in a way where you say $5 is what I want to spend in total. And if you don't change your days, they keep it at 5 days. So you'd be spending $5 every 5 days until that was over, even though you only wanted to spend it for one. And so you'd have to make sure to do that and really go through there. But for all of our clients, let's just go back to Facebook here, and I'll show you a client here. All of our client strategies are built off of paid, because we're trying to build out their organic, and they're following the rules and hitting those things there. And so we have budgets that we have each month that they can kind of, that we work with. Would be a good example for you guys.
Well, I'm just pulling that up. Can I get a group shot of everyone? So if you got a webcam, to turn it on, and then smile for me. All right. Perfect. All right, okay, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Awesome, you look good. Okay, and then we are past the hour, so Andrew, do you still have time to keep going through and answering some questions, or what's your schedule like?
I have a meeting at 1, so.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So go ahead and show where you're going, and then Shai's got a question for you as soon as you're done with that.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll just do Avalon Hills. They're a great client to kind of talk about. And so we have a budget, and you guys are kind of seeing behind the curtain. So all this information can only be seen if you're on part of the page there. But this data is important because it's telling us this post has higher engagement than, it's at a 5.1 higher distribution score, which means Facebook really liked it, and they provided us the content that we wanted. We followed their rules. They let more people see it, and it has over 118 likes, loves, comments, 28 shares, 1 comment. So we're not going to get that with everything because, again, it's a learning platform. So this one, 12, but it's still at a 2.2 higher distribution score. It reached 537 people. It had 57 post engagements. So that's people liking it, sharing it, all those types of things there. This one had 9. And so really you have to think of it not as a per post, but as an entire page. And once you do that, then you see this stuff over here. So we've increased the people reach, which means Facebook's kind of providing us that information and allowing us to reach more people because we're following their rules. Post engagements are up 52% than they were last month, or this is from July 14th to August 10th. And page likes are up 18%. And so we see this information here. It's allowing us to know, okay, as a whole, the entire page is doing well, but it also, stop this here. So Ardell, how many times were you posting on your page?
On which page? Facebook or?
Yeah, Facebook.
Well, I would go into my personal profile and I would, deal with it. Oh, maybe I'd do something with maybe 4, 5, 6 things per day.
Yeah, so that's part of it. So that's too much. And so Facebook's seeing that, and that's at your personal page. If it's your personal page, that's great. But it
is my personal page.
Okay.
On my author page, I'm not doing anything because it costs too much.
Okay. So yeah, it doesn't even need to cost anything. You don't need to boost it. If you follow the rules, organically people will see it, especially if you use different hashtags. And we can kind of go over hashtag strategy. It's mainly Instagram, but Facebook is kind of trying to adopt it, and they have been for years. And people don't really use it to grow there. But for your author page, I would see, what is $2 a day, and it will tell you how many people it will reach. $2 every time you post. So 3 posts a week. So what could you get for $6? And then build out that audience so that Facebook isn't controlling that, because you know your audience right now better than Facebook does. And so for us, it's a little different because we've been on it and following the rules so much, and Facebook has learned who we're trying to target, that if we were to ask Facebook to just automatically do it, they would know who to target. They would know business owners, entrepreneurs, healthcare providers. But for you, Facebook's still needing to learn. And so I would even do it to where you're not having to spend any money behind it for the first bit, so Facebook can learn that, follow their rules a little bit more. And
where
then
do we see those rules?
So the rules are, and this is the really difficult thing. If you're not in the industry every day, we talk with Facebook directly. And so we have contacts at Facebook that we discuss this stuff with. And this is why people come to marketing agencies, because Facebook doesn't talk to the consumer. They don't talk directly to you.
They don't tell you. And when you break a rule, they don't tell you what rule you broke.
Yep. And so
with what?
Yeah, for us, it's different. And that's why I'm happy to give you this information as much as I can to help you guys as much as possible. But because it changes so frequently, we're in it every single day. We understand what the data, when it says a certain thing, what does that data mean? We understand that followers isn't everything because it's engagement. That's really the big thing. We understand when Facebook changed from posting several times a day to 3 times a week, a lot of agencies didn't do that, and their client pages dropped in engagement, but ours increased because we followed those rules. But it is a little bit of a cheat code for us because we get to bounce these ideas off of Facebook, but also that's what we're trained to do. We're trained to understand the data and understand what's working. And so when we're posting every single day and we see that engagement drop, we know why it's dropping. And so on your end, it is just trying things. It's testing these things out. But from your business page, do not post more than 3 times a week, or you're not going to get the engagement you want. And then boost
your Instagram audience. What is the age range on Instagram?
So Instagram is kind of 25 and above is that range, and it's getting older every day. So and that's where a lot of the younger audience that was on Instagram, they're going to TikTok, and so the younger audience is leaving Instagram. Instagram is kind of becoming what Facebook was. Facebook was cool until your mom was on Facebook. Then you went to Instagram. Now your mom's on Instagram. Let's go to TikTok. And so that's the way to kind of think of it. But for us, Facebook and Instagram are the platforms we want because they have the people that can buy and make decisions.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know Instagram is not big with readers as much. Adult women are my readers.
Yep.
And I mean, I only have 3 books out there at the moment, and to have 3 stories a day, 3 stories, and one post every day on Instagram is just unrealistic for an author.
Yep.
I mean, we're busy writing.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe,
and I can't even imagine what a person would put in 3 stories.
yeah, but maybe it's the process of you writing. So maybe it is just showing your process of what you've written. Maybe then it's you getting up and taking a break and eating, and then maybe it's you going back to writing. And so
nobody wants to see me doing that.
you would be surprised. You would be surprised because people want to feel real. They want people that they follow to be real people. And, you know, for example, and this is kind of off topic. So me and my family were daily vloggers. So on YouTube, we would post videos of our day, me going to the store, me making dinner, my wife playing with our daughter. Like we would show those things. And it's what people wanted to see because they wanted, again, to feel real. They wanted to see not this edited, filtered version of life. They want to see what real people do in real life. And that's why the following grows. You know, we stopped doing it because we were getting a little too big and people were coming up to my daughter in Walmart and talking to her. And it was just like, I don't like that. But a lot of my friends continued and they're now multimillionaires because people want to see what they do every day. And it's just normal life. And so being a writer, you know, I have a friend who's a writer and she's come out, I think, with 2 books now. She's my age, so she's in her 30s. And her process is she shows the computer and she's typing on the computer to show that. Sometimes she'll type on a typewriter just to give a variety of what she's doing. Sometimes she'll just talk directly to camera and say, I'm having this idea for this story and I'm stuck at this point, and talk through it with the audience. And so, you know, for being an author, there is an audience out there who loves seeing behind the scenes of how these stories are made and kind of what's going on in the person's head. And so for you, it's getting over that maybe uncomfortableness and fear of talking to your phone as if you're talking to a person, and really just explaining the process of, you know, why are you writing this book? Who are you? And get people to know that every day.
Yeah, it takes a year to produce a book.
Yeah, that's interesting. I had no idea.
It's the same thing every day. I just can't imagine anybody wanting to.
Yeah, and
it would be the same stuff for 365 days.
Yeah, and that's where you have to get creative. For us, posting my life, us sitting on the couch, we do that every day as a family. We make dinner every day as a family, but we would do something different. We'd shoot it from a different angle. We'd ask we'd run a poll, what should we cook for dinner today? And you know, people would vote on it. And so you'd have to get creative. But for you, I think for you, it's good just to try to start and then work into that. You know, if we think about the huge project of an entire year in one day, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. But if you just think about today, hey, I just need to get 1 post up, and then 2 days later, I need to do another post. And you have 2 days to really think about what you can do. Either it's a picture, it's a video, it can be anything.
Speaking of pictures, I downloaded some free pictures off of various sites, and I was going to run sort of contests on my Facebook page. Which one of these pictures do you think is such and such a character in my book? Yeah. And have the audience pick one of them, or my readers to pick one of them, or also if they have a picture that they think should be the actor or the character in the book. So it was sort of kind of a game type thing. And of course, I've got a lot of characters, so that could go on for quite a long time.
Yeah, and that's actually a great Instagram story because people can vote on it right then and there and give you a percentage.
Excellent.
And so, yes, that's something that's a great post.
Okay. I will work with that rather than my dinner.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, Shai, do you have a question? I don't know if Shai's still here.
No, I think she's gone. So Andrew, you had 2 topics left, Google My Business and SEO. There's probably only time for one,
Yep.
possibly. So
I would say SEO. Do SEO.
SEO. All right. So let's highlight SEO super quick.
Okay. So let me pull this up here. So I came across this great, where did it go? One second, sorry. It was here, now it's gone.
So while you're pulling that up, I'll just highlight Google My Business for those who were interested and hoping you'd talk about it.
Perfect.
Google My Business is when you are in Google and you're saying restaurants near me or where can I find a plumber, things like that. These are hyper local results, and when you see these businesses pop up in the search results, those are Google My Business profiles that those business owners set up themselves. They put in their hours, their address, their website link, all of that. So if your business is focused on the very local demographic, you want to rank in Google, super easy. Set up a Google My Business profile. Very easy to do. They'll send you a postcard in the mail to verify your address as a real business. And then you'll start to show up when people are Googling for your industry, your services, or whatever nearby. So if you're not doing it, you're trying to rank locally, go and do that today. Super easy to get set up. So yeah, huge thing. So anyways.
On that point, so if you're like a nationwide business or something where you're not local, is Google My Business worth doing or not worth setting up?
I would say yes, because it helps with SEO as a whole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it also gives people a reason to contact you. So it's built for local, but you don't need to be local to have it and to use it. And so I would say from a marketing side of things, every client for us, whether they're nationwide, just in this country, just in one city, we make sure they have that because there's SEO value in that, and there's third-party validation in that, which is the reviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're setting it up.
Okay. SEO.
We'll go quickly with this one here. I found this great kind of article that describes pros and cons of SEO in very simple terms, and so we'll kind of pull that from this, and then also go over some of the big things you want with SEO. And SEO is such, again, this is the hardest part of marketing, but it's one of the best because it's organic. And so SEO pros, there's more opportunities. So more people click on organic search results than anything else. Organic is where people are searching. Ads are great because you get put at the top, but organic, sometimes people just scroll past organic. And what we've seen is ads are being clicked by an older audience while organic's being clicked by a younger audience. And that is because a younger audience has seen these ads. They know their ads, so they scroll past them. An older audience, they're just looking for the first thing that pops up. And usually that's an ad. But it's always different. But what we've seen just as in general, younger audiences click on organic, older audiences are clicking on the first thing, which is an advertisement. It provides authority. People associate your business who rank at the top as being authority of trust. So if you can get your page to the top, that's a very big pro. SEO is great because it's a gift that keeps on giving. So unlike paid advertising, as it says, once paid advertising stops, that stops. But organic, no matter how much you've built it and how much you've used, it never runs out. Whatever you get in SEO organic, it stays with your website forever. It is a lot cheaper to do SEO, but it's also a lot longer. So for us, if you came to us to get your ad at the very beginning, it takes 2 days and you're at the top of Google. For SEO, it could take up to a year to a year and a half for you to go from page 3 to page 1. So there's a big process that goes into that. And then one size fits all. Once you figure out SEO, there's the local business and the non-local business. And once you have that figured out, that's a big pro. And then buyer intent is the highest because people are searching for these things, so there's more buying intent. So if you could get on the top page in the top 5 search results, your trust is up, but you're more likely to get people to click on your website from there. The SEO cons, it takes time. Again, a year to a year and a half. There's a lot that goes into it. There's misinformation. So there's tons of online sites that will say they'll help you with the SEO, but really they could really be hurting your SEO because they're doing things incorrectly. That could be backlinks. Backlinks is something that's so great for SEO, but it could also be really bad for SEO if those backlinks are negative and provide a negative experience. Google will see that and take it away. It's expensive. We put that in quotes because of just the time it's going to take. So yes, it's cheaper per month, but over the lifetime of it, it's more expensive because it does take so long to get there. And then there's so many, navigating SEO providers is like walking around a minefield blindfolded while drunk. So true. If you don't find the right one, and there's trusted ones that we have used, people use us for SEO as well. I can maybe get Dustin some SEO sites that are fairly cheap, but a lot of the time it's just on-site SEO, which is the most important, I think. So Dustin, this is to quickly go into what you were talking about, the 10 fastest traffic exploding secrets known to man for helping with SEO. Setting up your Google properties. So there's Google Tags Manager, there's Google Analytics, there's your Google Search Console, and then obviously Google My Business. This is the biggest driver for SEO, especially right now because reviews are now part of SEO. So if you have higher reviews on your Google My Business page, they're going to put you above competitors of people who don't have high reviews. So Google My Business is important, mainly for local, but for any business that's wanting to be online, that's where people need to go. What was that?
So totally.
Yeah. Audit and improve your website performance. And so here's some free tools that you guys can kind of do. We like to do this. So I think HubSpot has a great free tool. You put your URL into HubSpot's website grader, which is what it's called. And it will tell you like the speed. It will tell you what you're doing wrong, how to fix it, all those sorts of things. But Google Page Speed Insights is great. You can run your mobile to make sure your website's mobile friendly. You can test it there. And Dustin, maybe I'll send this to you so you can send out to everybody for them to kind of have.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
And then security. You need to have your website secure because if it's not, Google sees that as a threat to the user experience. And so if it's a threat, you're less likely to be shown over somebody else who has a secure website. And so security is a big part of that. Again, benchmark your competitors. We test every competitor's website to see what they're doing, where they're benching, where their organic traffic's coming from, so that we can either steal that traffic or do it better. And SEMrush is a tool you will have to pay for, but there are some things like, it's something Ninja. I'll find it and send it to you, but it gives you a free version to be able to look at what other people are doing in your industries. It doesn't even need to be a competitor. Maybe someone's just really successful and you want to figure out why. That's a big reason to do that as well. Okay, going into social foundation. Again, we talked about this, creating your social foundation and business directories. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Yelp, Google My Business is part of that because these are now part of the SEO process and how just every normal business should be doing it. So having those things, but not only having them, being consistent and posting on them. So all you can do is be consistent, is posting 1 to 2 times a week. Do it. Maybe it's 1 time a week, but if you can get into that sweet spot, which is 3, perfect. And then expand your digital real estate. So this could be, again, this goes into the backlinks. This goes into social media. This goes into different URLs. So if somebody's going to write about you, have them write and link to your traffic from their website. And so that's kind of that process of just building out as much real estate as you possibly can, which is the big importance there. Building authority. This is reviews here. And that's kind of the big things there that I would focus on. I do have to jump off now, Dustin, for my next meeting, but maybe you can answer some questions from an SEO standpoint there. So
Thanks,
Perfect.
Andrew. That was great.
Andrew, fabulous. Thank you so much.
awesome. Okay, it was nice meeting everybody. I hope I helped.
Great.
I'll send that information, and good luck with all what you guys are doing.
Thanks a
Cool.
lot.
Thanks,
Thank
Andrew.
you.
You're awesome.
Yep, bye.
Cool. Everyone, thank you for coming. This is awesome. So I would say social media and SEO are not for the faint of heart. Each of those are careers that people have. They either do SEO or they do social media because they're very involved. They're full-time jobs in and of themselves.
To do them right. And now you have a topic for another event, meetup.
Yep.
How
There
to
you
do the no, not that. How to do the for Divi specifically. How to do that bottom CTA.
Mm-hmm.
How to create
Yep.
that in Divi. There you go. There's a meetup for you.
Yep. No, that's good.
That pop-up at the bottom you're talking about, Candy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get that plug-in that you mentioned and fiddle with it.
Yep.
And so, Dustin, you're going to send us some handouts.
Yep. So I'm going to share the stuff Andrew was sharing.
Okay.
In addition, I'll share a link to this video for anyone who wants to review it. Just go over all that information again. There's a ton that he shared. And yeah, so it was a great meetup. Digital marketing, there's so much to it. And I hope it was helpful for you guys.
It was. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks very much,
Sure.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next
Bye,
time.
everybody. Have a good
Bye,
evening.
Tammy.
Bye, Cammy.
Yep.
Adios.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Thanks for coming, Fred.
You're welcome. I might actually talk to you guys and hire you guys.
Yeah.
Because we're struggling. Andrew mentioned earlier about the company that's not getting any traffic, not getting any converts. That's us. We're struggling. And my wife's a writer too, and she's a biographer, and we're trying to figure out how she can get more business. And in the early days she got business, but it's dried up, and she's getting nothing now. And so I think we're going to need some help trying to figure out how to get more business for her again.
Totally.
Yeah, so I have to give you guys a call. I've tried a few things, but I'm not an expert with this stuff. And it really takes like a full-time person really focused on this. And I got other stuff along with this, and I can't give it the time it needs. So
that's the biggest struggle with a lot of this, for sure. Is it takes so much dedicated effort every day to stay on top of it, and that's where a marketing agency definitely becomes a great ally, a business partner. Because they have the understanding of the platforms, but they're also in it every day that they see what's best practice to really get things to grow. So
and just keeping on top of it and seeing what's going on. I know the search engine, they're changing things all the time, and the SEO, you can try to do that, but they change things, and all of a sudden you're not ranked as where you were because and we find that we use Google Ads, and I don't know, we're just not. We used to get really good placement, and now we're not anymore. I don't know what's changed. We used to be like on the first or second pages, and the top ads, and now we're the third, fourth, or fifth page. I don't know what happened. Something. I don't know. I can't seem to figure out how to get back where we were. And I get the calls, and I don't know. It's becoming a real struggle, and it's hurting the business.
Yeah, I totally get that. So you get my meetup notifications, right? When I send it?
Yeah.
So in that, I will include how to contact Andrew.
Okay.
And you can schedule a consultation with him or one of the account managers to do all that. And if you guys strike a deal on what to work out, then usually all the technical stuff, all the website stuff, I will take care of. So
we need help with all the marketing aspect, all the
Yep.
Ads, SEO, all the stuff you talked about, and social media and all that. We need to probably do more of that kind of thing. My wife has her own personal page, and she gets a lot of people in it. I think she could take some of that and make it into a business, because she got a lot of interesting stories that could easily be posted. All kinds of interesting things that have happened to her, that the human interest side that Andrew was talking about. I think she could use that to help promote her business, because she's a really good writer. She's the best kept secret out there. Well, she doesn't want to be, but
yeah,
people
no, I hear you.
stuff. But yeah, just got to get. We need help there. So, okay, I'm glad I attended this. I got some good ideas to whet my appetite, but we need a lot more help.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, look out for my email later today, and I'll include how you can get a hold of Andrew, and
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, you can take it from there. So, but thank you for coming, and your questions, super helpful, and just enriching the overall meetup. So I really appreciate it.
Sure, you're welcome. Okay, I'll let you go.
All right. Okay. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. And there was one, Stephanie. I don't know if you can hear me, but I am going to stop the